Hi everyone, I'm Anja. I'm a channel and an Akashic reader. Greetings. So a while ago, I had this session with a client who is very interested in having open contact and how to achieve this. So if this is something you're interested in, this is your channeling. If you're more interested in a grounded approach to spiritual journey, might still be interesting for you because they are touching upon some very specific metaphysical ideas and explaining a lot about matter and frequency and universal laws and stuff. So it might still be interesting for you. Without further ado, I will let you have the channeling and I will touch upon one or two things afterwards. They're very touched that in your human form, you are wanting to reconnect in the presence, meaning body to body, physical to physical. Because to many of humans, it's a scary thought, meeting an extraterrestrial being, a being that is not human yet, with human knowledge or human-like capacities to think and transmit information, being masters of their own world, right? Coming with history, coming with a consciousness, but looking extremely different. And it's not something you've been accustomed to. It's not something you've been grown up with, the knowledge that there are these beings looking so and so, speaking in this and that kind, moving with these ships or vehicles, or being able to transmutate matter and simply appear. They have different knowledge of universal law, physical law. They just move energy in a different way. Manipulate it not, but play with it. Work with it. Nothing to be scared about. No, but to humans, foreign things naturally are scary. Humans are a different kind of species, bound to Earth and a very specific environment, needing things like water and air to survive, temperature, range, very important to humans. So, we would not compare you to animals at all. Of course not, because you deem this mankind and an insult. However, we would compare you to demanding, let's say, similar living conditions than animals. You're not the curious kind, even though you think you are. You are curious to an extent. Humans are curious to think, what can I use to make my life easier? But the sole interest of the human is to make it either more cozy for themselves or gaining more power. Both have only one aim, and that's to calm the nerves. So you are still struggling with your nervous system, every one of you. Your nervous system is not under control, but you need your nervous system to develop and be calm in order to play with the matter, in order to play with the energy more, in order to understand energy more. It's not something you can do with greedy minds or scared minds. You need a calm mind for that. Energy is not attracted by frightfulness or too much excitement also. That is why those civilizations who have mastered technology to a certain degree are usually of a calmer mind. Usually they are balanced beings. They need to be in order to travel. They need to be in order to be as highly developed as a possible being. So, this is where you think about the difference. And also where you can learn from your brothers and sisters who are a bit different to you. The main issue is that when you meet us, when you meet a ship, when you meet a friend or a being that looks very, very different to you and speaks in different tongues, obviously has some kind of mastery over you or technology. It's not to overpower anyone. This is not their aim. Just try to be in the mindset of balance, calmness. You have such a nice saying on earth, being calm and collected. That is what you need to be. Cool, calm, and collected when you meet those beings. Frequency is matter, matter is frequency. Vibration is energy. Love is the glue that keeps it all together. The source of all knows that only the intention counts. Things that become the universe, things that become eternal. At the heart of their being, they are love. They need to be in full balance. One tip to the side in either direction. They're not immortal. They're not going to be here forever. They're not becoming universal. They're a test phase for matter to learn, for matter to evolve, but find their way back, of course, to balance in any way as a new and progressed form of matter. Still connected to consciousness, though, because when we say no one is left behind, we mean no one and nothing. It is also extended to object state. Progression is not only for beings, it is also for things. When you go into a channeled state, when you go into the blank mind, the open mind, the mind that is made of nothing, the mind that is listening, there is a fearless pit in all of your hearts, even in the most scared and frightened human beings. There is the state of the scale where the scale is balanced. When you think of nothing, when you forget all your history and your experience and all your ancestral history. And when you forget that there is tomorrow, that is when you're fully in the now. When you're fully in the now, you perceive. You're not commenting everything in your mind. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is frightfully bright. What is that kind of light? Oh, it can only be something bad and overpowering. When you just be in a state of transformation, because you are always in a state of transformation, even though you're not realizing it. But living is transforming. And when you're only breathing, living, transforming, perceiving, you're fully balanced. When you're in an accepting state, there is a little core inside of you, knowing that this is always going to happen to you. You're always going to be visited, whether you know it in your mind or not. This information is usually overruled, it's overwrought by the human mind. But your eternal mind, of course, knows that you're not alone here. They always come to visit you. To practice the state of balance, a state of fully perceiving the present moment. That is when the logical mind is asleep and the emotional mind is asleep. When only your soul is perking its ears. The body is not palpable for you. When everything is in balance, you're not hungry, you're not tired, you're not looking forward, you're not dreading tomorrow. You're not scared, you're not angry, you're not in love. There is nothing in you demanding attention. And there is nothing outside of you demanding attention. You are just you in the present moment, experiencing it, breathing it in and out. That is a wonderful state of preparing for a visit. And welcome back. So why I love this message or this channeling in particular is because even if you do not consciously wish to have open contact, or if extraterrestrials seems like sci-fi to you and you just have a different approach to spirituality, I find it very refreshing to get back in the mindset that while we're all channeling on doing spiritual work, there's always energy around us. There's always someone connecting to us. And it might just be very well an extraterrestrial being. So yes, it can be your spirit guide, can be your guardian angel, it can be an ancestor, someone who has transitioned, or it can actually be you in a different incarnation also. But chances are extraterrestrial beings are here on Earth. They are interacting with us. Some of you actually might have extraterrestrial DNA, who knows? And I think there's a lot more for us to learn and discover along the way. Also, when you have these dreams, when you try to connect with UFOs, spacecrafts, and ETs, I think energy, or keep being able to hold the vibration, is extremely important, because from my own experience, and I have not been consciously on a spaceship or anything, so I'm a beginner, absolutely, but I'm fascinated about this topic. And I feel whenever I'm getting close to having actual contact, what happens is my nervous system is getting so excited that the contact is not possible because the frequency alignment cannot happen. And I totally understand when they say there needs to be balance and you all need to be able to keep your system in balance. And I think as humans, this is not something we excel at. So we are either very excited or we're very much down in the shades. And I personally do not know a lot of people who feel extremely balanced to me. There is always a range of emotions, at least with me and my experience. I know maybe one or two people who are always kind of balanced and very laid back, and there's little that can shake them up. But maybe this is even not what they mean. So for me, this is a learning field I need to dive deeper into. But it makes sense for me to be able to hold, be open, and just receive the maybe hand that they are lending us in order to make this contact happen. So if you have or had any extraterrestrial encounters, I would be more than curious to know about this. If you're not comfortable writing this in the comment section, please drop me an email. I love hearing about these encounters. And if you are more advanced on how to balance your nervous system, let us know, please. So I think it's a really interesting topic, and one that we need to work on. So either way, let's do it. And what I personally find really helpful is not the idea of grounding so much, maybe, because that has worked in the past. But what they tell me is that right now we are more in a stabilizing phase. So we do need to stabilize the frequency we're trying to hold. And I feel this is the way to go here. So whenever you feel, maybe whenever you want to initiate contact with extraterrestrial beings, if you want to follow along a CE5 protocol, I think it's named, after Stephen Greer or something. Try to keep it balanced in the meaning that whenever you feel the excitement coming up or when you feel you are close to having contact, try stabilizing the energy. Take a breath, stabilize, and try to blank in your mind as much as you can. Maybe if you need help from music or something like that, it's completely fine. Just find what's working for you here and try to get accustomed to their higher frequency. So we probably need to meet in the middle anyways. So they actually cannot get down too much and we probably cannot get high as much, but there must be a middle ground where this is possible. And also maybe let them help. So when they are trying to come closer, don't shut down your channel and try to extend the period where you can have an open channel for as long as possible. This is a message mostly for those who are interested in initiating open contact. If this is not for you, don't worry. The next video is going to be about something completely different. Okay, I wish you all much fun practicing.